Hey guys, Mystic Eve here at Center of Mystic Arts, holding space in Costa Rica for mystics and artists and travelers and magicians. My intention for all of these videos is that it reaches the people it needs to reach. And if you are on the other side of that screen, then that is you. Thank you so much for being here. Please check out all the links below and check out our website and the Patreon account. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that good stuff because it helps me out. The first thing I noticed today when I looked at the party is that we have Pluto on one side in Capricorn, and then kind of in a mirror image on the other side we have the back door, which is in Scorpio. These are just the two first things that I noticed. So I was like, all right, so that's what I'm going to talk about. And we're going to keep it simple and just go straight to the cards. I will speak about Pluto and the back door a little bit. I know I've mentioned numerous times that Pluto is the bad boy. Oh, Pluto. He is the dwarf planet that is on the outskirts of it all, that is the furthest away from the sun that you can possibly be. And the back door is this tail of a dragon, the ass end. The backdoor party, when it's kept clean, it's where personally I like to hang out. So, let's see what the cards have to say. Center, north, south, east, west. All right. Center, we've got the Three of Hearts. Now, 3. Let's feel the 3 for a second. Triangle, the first shape, you know, also can be associated with Saturn. Now, Saturn is the caterer at the party. She's the organizer. She's got everything figured out. She's got the boundaries and the limitations and all of the rules and regulations. She's got it all figured out. With emotions and water, the beginning, young, youth, the beginning of it all. And hearts, water, cups, emotions, tidal waves, love. And in the last video, I spoke of weaving love in between the poles, in between the polar opposites, loving it all, no matter how separate and divided it feels. Actually, just talking to Sophia about rainbows, and how they are formed, and how it's the division of light that creates the rainbow. And to implode, because it explodes and implodes, you break the light apart and you see the rainbow. But then if you're able to bring the light together, it's that breath, right? That breath of life. Young love, changing how we think about love and being in love as a kid, and changing how we really think about love and relationships. This morning with MTV's, those are the cards that I got. Relationship change, and love. So I've been thinking a lot about how we can change this idea of what love is and expand it. How do we make it bigger? How do we push out the boundaries? But you know, it's those rings. It is those rings. It is the embrace. It is the hug. It's the, I want to be so close to you. You know, I mean, even Pluto and the sun, as far apart as they are, they're in conjunction in my chart. So it's like they understand that you can be both at the same time. So let's move along. Three of Hearts. See what's in the ether. What are we thinking about? The Jack of Hearts. Again, with the young love, now we have to think about this Jack as either young or old. He's like right there in the middle, right? He can kind of swing between both. Right there at puberty, where he's really wanting to be a man or woman, of course. I mean, non-gender, whatever pushing up into an older form looks like with our emotions. It's the kid, the emo kid is who I've said this is a lot, which I've also said is Pluto. There's a lot of connections. There's a lot of energetic feels and aspects between those energies of, you know, being that dark, emotional kid that really dives into hating everything and everybody sometimes because they feel everything. It's because they feel it. And I felt it as a kid, as a youth. I felt it very heavy, and I hated society. I hated them. I mean, I still can sink into that and be like, I want to. No, you know, I want to kill them. But that is not what I am here to do. What I am here to do is bring Pluto into the light, connect those polar opposites, and understand that, you know, there has to be night to be day. And day is not better than night. It's just a different form. And you can shed light into night. That has a lot to do with the time travel. Just to give you a key right there. The light. And being able to go from dark to light. And pass through that dark. Because that's the movement, right? You have to... It's the halls of Amenti that Thoth talks about, and moving in circles of being able to go deep, dark, black, death, and see the light there. That's what makes you not get lost. Is that even in that space, you can see the light. You know it's there. It might be a trillion light years away, but you see it, and you know that's where you're going, is towards the light. You can go much further. So, that's who we're thinking about, the emo kid, Pluto. Clearly. He's the first guy I see at the party. So again, we have to be grounded. What is going to be uncovered is the Seven of Swords. Well, I mean, that 7 is so above, so below. That 7 is the connection between the chakras and the planets. The 7 are talked about also in the Emerald Tablets. And swords, air, grounded in air. Time travel. I mean, like you know, we talk a lot about being grounded. What's the opposite of being grounded is not being grounded, which if you're gonna time travel and go to a whole different planet, like, I mean, I can be grounded here for as long as I want to. You know, like, I know where my anchor is, but to time travel and go through dimensions, I have to pull that anchor up and be like, I ain't got no ground. I'm going there, going that way, right? So anything else the Seven of Swords wants to say? And that doesn't come easy. It's a sword. You don't just, it's not a club. You can't just grab it out of the forest. It has to be forged out of metal and hammered and heated immensely, and then hammered and then heated and then hammered again and again and again by somebody who really knows what they're doing, a master. Some could even say a magician. Like, I could feel there's been a couple lives back there for sure. I might have done that kind of work. I don't know. Probably once or twice. Working with metal. You know, there was a brief time that I watched some really good friends of mine build armor. And that was pretty cool. It takes a lot of talent to be able to mend and mold metal into something. And as beautiful as a sword, as sharp as a sword, takes a lot of skill and a lot of practice. And the blacksmith probably throws away more than he actually sells, right? Swords. So in this spread, Pluto is not grounded. Of course he's not grounded. He's only grounded when he wants to be. So in the east, coming up over the hill, bringing the light onto the subject, bringing in the light is 3 of clubs or of wands. There's that 3 again. We have Saturn holding it in with her rings. We have youth. And wands, we have fire. A lot of times it's wildfire. This one with 3, no, it's forged fire. It's connected with this 7 of Swords, with that blacksmith really being in the heat. Using that fire for alchemical purposes. The transmutation of one thing into another. First you got a hunk of metal, but then you have a magnificent sword. And in this case, a club. So it is also, I think that club wants to speak a little bit about effortlessness. Because, you know, we say the sword takes a lot of effort to make, and the one thing about a club, which they're both action, right? They're connected in that they're, you know, you can beat each other with a sword and with a club. Or a wand even is like, can be a weapon, you know, Harry Potter wand. But one is air and one is fire. One is mental activity and thinking and learning and forging. Yeah. And one is just wild, fire, passion. It can just be pulled out of the forest in that being a club. So I think also this is also telling me to speak a little bit about the Sacred Heart. here recently I took my daughter Sophia to church, and I've also been doing a lot of work with the symbology of the Sacred Heart. So this is wanting me to speak a little bit about that, you know, the triangle around your heart with, that's just burning. It's just burning with passion. It's just burning up with wild passion that I can then push forth into whatever I want to push it into. So, all of that is over. It's at the end of the day. We're tired. We're tired of all that pushing and holding and emotional Pluto-ness. At the end of the day, we're going to crawl into bed with the 8 of diamonds, pentacles, earth. That movement of resources. Please, let's take back the wealth of this world. Let's take back abundance and help each other out and work together with it and hold it again and protect it as if it were a child. Let's start to understand what a hermetic secret is all about and why we keep it. Because it is very easily stolen. And you know what? So it got stolen. It's like, you know, the ball passes back and forth and now they've got it. But you know, I want it back. So we come down here to play the game and get the ball back for a little while, for however long that cycle goes, and then it around and around and around it goes. So, thank you so much for playing on this go around. And hopefully, you know, I'd really like to see a really strong team come together and do some magic. So, whether you're traveling physically or mentally, may it be in love and light. And don't forget the lube. Ciao.